Item 6, public information, 6.1, Sheriff Cutler is going to give us a presentation on an annual report of the Sheriff's Office and the great efforts that they've done throughout the last year, and we appreciate him coming forth and giving us an update on his department.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having me this afternoon, Chairman, Board. I tried to do this before, but unfortunately was out sick, so I apologize for that, but I do appreciate you hearing me tonight. Before I get going, I would like to recognize one employee. The past few years, we've been recognizing an employee of the year in our agency and a deputy of the year. And I'd like to call Miss Jeannie Coleman up right now and recognize her. These are voted on by our employees. We're asked that our employees would vote on their peers, and that's what they've been doing. And this year, Jenny Coleman was the employee of the year, so I wanted to publicly recognize her for that. And our deputy.
Hold on just a second so we can get a picture to memorialize this. Congratulations. Great job.
She is a great employee. Most of the things that I asked her to do, she's already done it. She's great. And our deputy of the year that we voted on was William Smith. We know him as Charlie Smith. He wasn't able to be here, but I did want to recognize him for that. So we appreciate the work that they're doing. Basically, what I'm going to give you is just stats from 2021. I want to start with our 911 communication center. Our calls for service, the Sheriff's Office calls was 28,946. The combined police department calls was 11,295. The EMS calls was 13,721. Fire calls were 17,207, and emergency management was 289 calls. This all came to a total calls for service of 71,458. Total telephone calls answered for our 911 was 33,846. Administrative calls was 80,448. That's a total of 114,294 telephone calls answered. Moving on to the jail division. Total admissions in our jail for last year was 1,515. Our daily occupancy was in-house was high. The high was 87 and the average was 63. Out of county daily occupancy, the high was 22 and the average was 9. The meals in the jail, the total was 68,823. That was a daily average of 189. In our records division, we had handgun purchase permits was 1,073. And our concealed carry permits was 2,414. So our records division was very busy filling these requests for permits. Our traffic citations, we did work some traffic. We did have our 2 traffic units up and running through the Governor's Highway Safety Program for the full year of 2021. I just broke down into the 3 major categories. Was speeding was 1,169 citations issued, reckless driving was 93, and DWI arrest was 23. Our narcotics enforcement, to give you a little history, when I got here a little over 3 years ago in 2018, the opioid situation and the drugs in general were definitely the main concerns of the people of Pender County. We noticed that as we traveled around the county and spoke with people. So we immediately enhanced the narcotics division from 2 detectives to 7 detectives. As a result of this, drug charges went up in the year 2019, which was the next year, 300%, and have maintained somewhat consistent since then. In 2021, our marijuana, we seized 9,428 grams. Meth, 1,104 grams seized. Cocaine, 318 grams seized. Crack, 81 grams seized. Heroin, 513 dosage units seized. Heroin powder, 66 grams seized. And in the pills category, 10,000 fentanyl pills were seized, 1,127 assorted pills, and 955 pressed Xanax pills. And for some reason, 2021 was popular in mushrooms, and we seized 296 grams of those. So our narcotic division has been very busy. We're very pleased with the work that they're doing. And a lot of these cases have been adopted by the federal government, so you don't always hear about those on the news, but the totals I did give to you today. Can't tell you the details about all those cases, but all right, the detective division. Cases assigned to our detectives was 1,274. That was a total, an average of 212 cases per detective. In the evidence, we've taken in 1,801 items of evidence. Our court security division, they provided security for 96 district criminal court sessions, 37 family juvenile DSS sessions, 12 criminal superior court sessions to include grand jury, 49 small claims sessions, 50 domestic violence sessions, 32 felony sessions, 16 traffic court sessions, 12 child support sessions, and 4 civil superior court sessions. Our school resource officer stats. In 2021, the Pender County Sheriff's Office answered 359 total calls for service at our school locations. These calls included traffic offenses, serving civil papers, and various other law enforcement related interactions. Our office receives notification from the See Something, Say Something app, which is used in all schools to notify of any potential life safety or school threats of violence. In 2021, we received 60 notifications. Some of these were duplicate notifications, but the app is being used. So that's a very good thing. During 2021, our office sought juvenile petitions on 3 students related to threats of mass violence. You may remember hearing about those on the news. These investigations took place with charges being made less than 24 hours after notification to allow schools to continue operating on a normal schedule. Our resource officers and captains and sergeants and lieutenants would get, a lot of times they'd get a threat notification in the evening, and they would be up all night working that threat, have charges made before the doors open the next morning, and school was not delayed at all. So we're proud of them for their dedication in that. Move on to the civil division. Civil papers was 3,621 served. Child support 952. Our 50B, which is domestic violence protective orders, were 393. And summary ejectments, foreclosures were 212. Writ of executions 139. Writ of real property 61. Writ of personal property 9. That was a total number of civil processes was 5,387. Some training highlights. We provided drug awareness and recognition seminars in our schools. What we were able to do is get our schools to work with us, and we actually got a drug recognition expert to go in and teach some of the faculty some signs to look for early drug use, so we can prevent some of these addictions. I thought that was a good program. We did a couple of those. We also got our narcotics agents into the schools to do the very same thing, just to teach drug recognition. We also provided ALICE training for the school staff. That is actually, it's active shooter training is what it is, but we go in and we work with school faculty, principals and teachers. And basically it just teaches them how to react to an active shooter situation. If they hear shots, there's different options that you can do. And that ALICE actually stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. So basically in that acronym or title is the different options that you have. And that has been very well received. Very well received, so we're glad about that. Our community programs, this is getting here toward the end. But we continued our community meetings throughout the county where we get feedback about what's going on. That's been very, very beneficial. We conducted 3 sessions of a Citizens Academy. We started a Citizens Academy this past year. That's been very beneficial for the public to be able to come in and attend sessions on every Tuesday night. We have it, and it's for 7 sessions, but they actually get to come in and go through our different divisions in our agency, and it gives them an inside look at what we deal with on a daily basis. And that pretty much spurred from our CPR meetings that we've been having in our community, and that stands for Community, Police, and Race Relations. What we did was we set these meetings up after we were having so many riots and everything going on across the country, to have some communication with our community and break down the communication barriers, and that has been very beneficial. We get in there and we talk openly, and we learn things about the community, and they learn things about us. But through that program, we were getting a lot of feedback about what they deal with when they have to deal with us. So we thought the Citizens Academy would give them a look at what we have to deal with when we deal with the public, and that has been a very good interaction there. We had our first Women on Target class through the NRA. They came up and put on a Women on Target. That was very well received too. That went very well. It teaches gun safety practices, and actually gets them out on the range and lets them be able to shoot shotguns and pistols, and they all had a good time. We had several of them ready to come through it again. We're going to try to kick another one off here this spring. So, and last but not least, we were able to conduct our Shop with a Sheriff again for Christmas, where we take children out of our schools and actually take them down. We feed them a little bit, and then we take them shopping for their family. They allow them to buy Christmas presents for their family, and we take donations for that, and that's the highlight of my year. That has been a blessing to do that. That's been going on for several years, and I just feel blessed to be a part of it now. So we plan on continuing that. But other than that, that's all I got. Any questions?
Yeah, so does any of my fellow board members have any questions or comments?
I have a comment quickly. Was it the Citizens, not the Citizens Academy? I attended one of your meetings where y'all were educating the public about what we deal with on a daily basis. And it was very interesting in that they showed a film of an officer making a stop. And initially, without you knowing what was going on, you would think that it was some kind of police brutality. But what a trained person would see, and it happened just that quick, that there was a gun thrown out of the car as he was approaching, and then the guy went around the car and wouldn't put his hands on the car and was going around to get the gun. And it could have been but the point was, it's easy to make judgments about what's going on, and I'm neither condoning nor supporting, and I certainly am not supportive of undue violence. But, you just don't know what officers, what danger is out there every day.
Right.
And every night.
I think that was one of the CPR meetings you attended,
so
where we showed that.
It was very enlightening.
Mm-hmm.
Was the guy just trying to kick the gun off into the weeds, or was he actually reaching for you don't know.
We don't know, right,
You don't know.
right.
So
And we using that very video for training purposes and learning from that, but very pleased of the de-escalation that was used there. And
Well, there was a lot of people from the community, both all races, all sex, all, you know, socioeconomic, but it stimulated a really good conversation.
Yes. Mhm.
It really did, and that was the takeaway of that, so, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
I heard from multiple people on these meetings that you've been having, and they're much appreciated, Sheriff. And it's almost staggering when you think about the total number of employees, when you start thinking about all the calls and interactions and things that go on a daily basis. And I could say the same thing with EMS and fire too. I think just folks just don't,
Mhm.
our emergency services and first responders, how much interaction they have.
Yeah.
Or what would I say, how many opportunities are out there, so to speak. It's amazing. It's a busy place.
Yes.
I appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say, I want to thank you and your deputies for out there every day putting your life on the line. People don't realize you got sometimes a split-second decision, you gotta make a decision. You can cost your life if you make the wrong decision, so I appreciate our role in
Thank you.
what you do.
Yeah, and I'll echo what has already been said. I want to thank you for your time today and for coming up and providing the information that you provided. Oftentimes we take the protections that you provide and your department provides for granted, quite frankly. And we live in a very safe place. If you watch TV for any time at all, we live in a very safe place, comparatively.
Yes.
Comparatively.
Yes.
And I really appreciate, and I hope that you express at least my appreciation, and I think the whole board's appreciation for the efforts that your department has provided it. The COVID experience has been difficult on all departments, but you guys were right out there on the front line. And unfortunately, it brought out the good and the bad in people.
Yes.
And you had to deal with some of the bad, so,
And we're still dealing with it, but
yes.
yes, sir, we deal with it. And I appreciate you saying that, and we enjoy doing it. And I want to thank the board for your support that you have in us and with us and the community as well. Pender County is a good place to work in law enforcement, and we appreciate that.
All righty.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you very much.
Thanks, Sheriff.